Right, onward through this new world. A world that decided to make even the save stations look pretty ominous for some reason. Or maybe I'm just way too used to the old art styles for save stations. Well, I suppose that's one way to deal with water, making sure we can't jump high enough. Why is it I managed to figure that one out on my own, but the whole shoot the glowing eye on the robot thing, like the message on the bottom said, somehow made me stumble for a moment there. Ugh. Anyway, kinda like the fact that Samus seemed about as confused by that digital-looking door as I was. So, we need to somehow find a way to the central unit thing below us. Or at least I think that's our objective for now. Adam wasn't quite as specific with what we need to do in this game as he was with the last one. He just said, eventually get to our ship, which is definitely the endgame goal. We're certainly running into plenty of doors that we need the charge beam to get through, that's for sure. So we found a second robot less than 5 minutes after destroying the first. Again, I know these things are supposed to be scary as all hell, and I don't like dealing with them, but I'm more used to the especially scary enemies showing up on rare occasions in this series. When they show up more frequently, I don't go, oh god, I'm going to die. I just go, you've got to be kidding me. Well, the Emma didn't move until we blew up that bit of ceiling, so it knew before that point that there was no way for it to reach us in this corner. I have the distinct feeling it has a far more detailed map of the area than we do that updates all the time. That's going to make avoiding it a pain in the ass. Shit. That's 2 deaths in 2 clips to the essentially same damn thing that can kill us. I mean, sure, this is a second robot, but still. Wait, it's called an Emmy? Why do I keep remembering the robot's name as Emma for some reason? Sure, it doesn't make all that much of a difference, but still. It's kind of funny that I keep misremembering a major enemy's name having an A at the end instead of an I, when it's a robot with a pre-programmed AI in the story. Probably not as funny to other people, but I certainly found it kind of amusing here. As frantic as the action is, the checkpoint system kind of helps prevent me from going into an absolute panic when we're dealing with the thing, which might actually mean we're removing part of the point there. Granted, if I was scared, then I'd probably be doing more to actually get away from the damn thing, instead of just running in circles trying to figure out how to make progress from here, and getting repeatedly killed by the same damn robot. And while this one isn't an outright cripple like the first one, it's still about as limited as the robots in this game get. No extra gimmicks, just crawling at us as we try to run away. I can already tell I'm not going to be one of the most popular Let's Players of this game. The fact that I'm doing commentary a good amount of time after I'd already recorded the game means I'm certainly not going to be able to get the same visceral fear in my voice as the people who played the game live did. And even if I wanted to, I would not have been able to do commentary while playing the game live. I got so engrossed in the game that I didn't even notice I'd sat still long enough to give myself back pain. And if I had tried to say anything live, it wouldn't have been anything really meaningful. Just the occasional shit, and ooh, that's interesting. Really, Definitely just a whole lot of reaction grunts and few of any actual constructive words. Whereas my commentary that I tend to prefer doing is generally a lot of words, not too many genuine reaction noises. I know how that can be less entertaining than a lot of Let's Players out there, but I hope it's still fun in its own right. Okay, wasn't expecting this room to just turn out the lights the instant we came in here.
Both enemy you encountered were clearly trying to capture you. They may have been hacked. If so, it's reasonable to assume all enemy will be hostile. Enemy send out a pulse to detect vibrations in the air within a certain range. Essentially, they can hear you. Upon detecting vibrations, an enemy enters surveillance mode to track their source. Stay out of its line of sight when this happens. Otherwise, the danger to you increases dramatically. An enemy that has seen you will begin pursuit. Part of the pursuit protocol is to seal the enemy's own exits. You will be trapped inside. To survive, you must leave its range of pursuit. Evade the enemy and it will disengage. This will also unseal the exits. An enemy never leaves its assigned zone. Their control system must permit them to operate only within that range. I estimate a 99% probability of death if an enemy captures you. There may be a very small opportunity to escape, but exploiting this window will be virtually impossible. The enemy are immune to your current weapons. You lack the unique energy used to defeat the first enemy. Your only option now is to evade capture and find an exit. Your highest priority in an enemy zone should be simply to survive.
Not sure what it is, but somehow Adam's briefings feel more interesting in this game. Is that purely because they're voiced now and the sight of the sphere shifting around as he speaks is a nice image? Or is there some other reason I can't think of right now? Right, can't get to that just yet. Guess we're entering the Emmy zone again, and good God, that name just does not sound like something I should be afraid of. When I hear Emmy zone, I think either a section of your apartment that's owned by your roommate, or you're getting an Academy Award or something like that. Okay, so that station can replenish absolutely everything for us. I suppose that would be useful if we lost health when dealing with the robots, but no, we just die instantly, not losing any resources. And I've died yet again to them. You'd think the sheer number of times we've died in quick succession to the robots would make me more afraid of them. Not just more annoyed. Sure, I don't want to get close to them, but I'm still getting used to the controls, and the game didn't waste any time introducing them to us, and they just keep throwing us into situations where we absolutely have to deal with them. Okay, so this is essentially a dead end for us. Well, I can easily imagine that these things must be quite the annoyance for the speedrun community at the very least. I'm not in any hurry, and they're still driving me up across various walls here. And I'm back where I started. Brilliant. Oh, for God's sakes, I have a hard enough time finding my way to where I need to go without the added annoyance of the robots that we can't fight against. Where am I even supposed to go here? They definitely didn't take long to make things pretty annoying to deal with once the tutorials stopped coming. Dear God, I'm dying so often that I'm sure anyone watching this thinks I have never held a Metroid game before. At the very least, the robots are a pretty big reason why I haven't touched Metroid Dread since I completed recording the game for this Let's Play. I'm not saying they're bad. I can easily see why they're something that makes the game far more tense in several ways than the older Metroid games. But one of the major things I enjoy with the Metroid series is the combat. The bosses we've come up against in all the games so far were, for the most part, I'm not looking at a few of them the same way, interesting and fun to go through. The 3DS game did a damn good job of making more common enemies feel fun to fight as well, even if, when you counter them, they typically went down in a hurry. But the robots are something that we're explicitly not supposed to fight, and unlike the SAX, they are not used sparingly. The counter mechanic against them is so unforgiving, especially this early in the game, it may as well not exist. This is our second of those robots in 2 clips, and we have died to it several times already. It's just funny how I enjoy the more primitive but scripted SAX encounters, but the more freeform Emmy encounters kinda killed my enthusiasm. I'm sure there are gonna be plenty of fun moments in this game, but the game designers and the overall Metroid community find these things and their rooms to be a significant part of the fun of this game. And unfortunately, I don't. But I do enjoy the Metroid franchise enough to push my way through my lack of enthusiasm for these particular enemies. Ah, well, at least we managed to get to a new area. That's gotta be worth something. Probably didn't need to clear out all the enemies down here, but I've got a bit of an itchy trigger finger after the crap we just went through. And here's another save point for us. Right. Place your bets how long until we run into the second robot again. Personally, I'm hoping we're done with the damn thing for one clip, so I have a chance to bleed off some of my aggravation. Well, that's certainly a sign that we'll be coming back when we have the gravity suit, assuming, of course, that I remember to come back this way when we get it later in the game. Well, training the water didn't do us any favors getting further to the right in here. It might have lowered the water levels outside of that particular hallway, though. Okay, how the hell did that actually manage to help us here when we still met the same amount of water resistance as we jumped there? Was expecting us to get another briefing. Is this supposed to be a map room? Because if it is, it didn't do an especially good job of filling things in. Sure, it shows the more broad details of the terrain, like where there are rooms and places for us to move around in, but I'm pretty sure other map rooms in the earlier games gave us more details. Well, with the notable exception of the map rooms in Fusion. And to be fair, the maps in all the games seem to have this annoying tendency to not mention plenty of critical things about the terrain, meaning I always get caught by a maze within the overall maze. It'd probably be less of a pain if I remembered the layout of two-dimensional environments. Still, unless they release another 2D Metroid, I don't think that's going to be an issue for us anytime soon. Not unless I start going through some games that were inspired by the Metroid series or other 2D titles. Okay, not really as aggravated by us getting killed by that thing as I was with the robots. That was all on me because I had the timing wrong and it wasn't nearly as unforgiving a window as with those damn bots. Kinda surprised we were sent back to the save point considering this game has a checkpoint system. Also, kinda disappointed we didn't hear the loading sound effect when we were doing that. If we didn't hear it there, I doubt we're gonna hear it for the entire playthrough. Shame. Now that's better. Wonder how long until we get to see a boss that we can use those missiles against. After all, the game decided to throw the scariest things in the game at us before we'd even gotten used to all the little quirks of the controls. About 20 minutes of holding our hands to an insulting degree, then letting go, and while certainly not the absolute deepest end, it's still a little deeper than we can just settle our feet down on. So we are forced to swim or drown. Right. Guess it was too much to hope that we wouldn't have to go back in there again. But I suppose the reason they put Dread in the title is because we're supposed to feel pretty anxious for most of the game due to constantly entering the territory of these robots, and we're only supposed to feel relief either when the robot is destroyed, or when we've just left those pockets where they were constantly patrolling. True. It makes you have to figure out where you need to go fast, which results in more mistakes and more time wasted as you try to avoid pissing yourself when these things are directly impeding your progress. But I think I've proven by this point that I don't need some unkillable, relentless monster at our heels for me to get lost and waste time. I can provide that kind of time wasting myself without help, thank you very much. As a side note, I'm pretty sure we won't be able to go through the path that this water button is opening without the morph ball. Though, I suppose I could be wrong there. I don't see too many other possible paths forward. I don't suppose the robot is going to follow us into this room, is it? Or is it only going to patrol the room we absolutely need to go through in order to make some progress, making things purposely more of a pain in the ass? Right. Is there anything else we can do that doesn't involve going back in there, at least for a while? Because even though this isn't the first time we've dealt with something that can kill us in a single touch in this series, I remember the bigger robot chasing us far more fondly than the Emmys making things inconvenient for us. Honestly relieved that the robot was willing to enter that room instead of merely patrolling the area we need to move forward from. It's not much of an improvement, but nice to know it's not just scripted to be the most annoying thing possible. Again? Is anyone else keeping track of just how many times I've died to these things? Because I haven't. Again, this is just the second clip, and I've died more often than in some of the full games I've done in this series. If I die in a fight, I feel like I can either start exploring for other upgrades to improve my chances, or just try some different tactics to kill the threat. If I die due to something I can't fight against, and it's a scripted chase, then I start trying to figure out a better way to get from point A to point B without getting killed. But this is an unscripted chase from something that cannot be fought against, It is more mobile than us, and since I don't know the layout of the area, I'm trapping myself in ways that are enhancing my frustration. It's been under an hour, and the sheer number of times my brain has gone into "oh, come on" mode is the sort of thing that is just pissing me off here. Kinda reminds me of the time I tried to play through Alien Isolation. I liked the atmosphere and the storytelling, but did not like the main attraction of the game, the unkillable alien that could kill you instantly if it found and reached you. Granted, this robot cannot learn the way that thing could, but it was a frustrating thing if I enjoyed everything in that game, except for the thing the game designers felt was the main draw, and that just made me feel guilty, which made the entire experience feel even worse, unfortunately. I guess I was mistaken and this really is the path forward. I only kept trying it because I couldn't think of anything else at the time. Not too much of a relief since the thing that's been killing us the most often in this game doesn't give a damn how much health you have. I'm pretty sure if there was some option to turn on an invincibility cheat or something, that the robot would ignore that and still instant kill us. Please tell me we're actually going to get a meaningful upgrade in this clip. I'm pretty sure that in the older games, we gained upgrades more meaningful than just missile expansions at a much better rate this early in the respective adventures. I suppose the charge beam will do. It'll certainly open plenty of doors for us, but I'd really prefer to have the morph ball over this sliding thing. I keep getting thrown off because if Samus can slide through these cracks, she should be able to crawl through them too, but no. She chooses to do one, but not the other. In the older games, and even the 3D entries in the series, you could either turn into a ball to get through small holes, or you just could not get through them at all. Bit of a minor gripe compared to me essentially not liking the concept of the Emmys and how they're pulled off. But now I feel like even more of an ass. My brain has literally gone into bitching mode before we've gotten even an hour into this game. And this is after I went out of my way to give myself a break so I could come at this new entry of the series without my annoyances at Metroid Fusion coloring my impression of Metroid Dread. Just what do you do when you love the fact that a franchise is growing and trying to evolve, but some of those evolutions make you want to stop and grab one of the older titles? It's the same kind of feeling I had for the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. I probably shouldn't think too much about the Resident Evil series, though, as I'm going through this game. Otherwise, I might temporarily pause this LP and start one of the Resident Evil games that I've already recorded that's just been waiting for me to sit down and finally get around to commenting on. Apparently, it'll take me some time to get back to the same level of countering I was doing in the 3DS game. It's not a complicated concept, just wait for when you see the flash to hit the button. Besides, the window to see the flash and when they strike is a lot more forgiving for everything other than those damn robots. was the idea that I was getting the hang of things again. Though it's amazing that getting hit repeatedly by something you've dealt with numerous times already is less frustrating to me than getting killed by something you explicitly can't fight against at all. I wish I could drop that, but again, it's one of the primary draws of this game. I'm pretty sure we're going to re-enter the robots patrol sector again sometime in the next clip, because apparently that's this game's reason for calling itself Dread.